Now, the Trump administration has scrapped a landmark scientific finding that formed the legal basis for federal controls on greenhouse gas emissions. Known as the Endangerment Finding, the 2009 scientific determination classified carbon dioxide, methane and several other gases as threats to public health. Its repeal could pave the way for the elimination of broader climate regulations on cars, power plants, oil and gas facilities. The move by the Environmental Protection Agency marks this administration's most sweeping effort to roll back US climate regulations. President Trump is framing this reversal as a way to cut red tape and to reduce costs for American consumers. Let's get more from Washington correspondent Janelle Dumoulin. Welcome, Janelle. Give us a sense of the significance of this move.
Well, this is a very significant move, Phil, by basically revoking the so-called endangerment finding. The administration is removing the legal basis that the Environmental Protection Agency used to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, and therefore the federal government's ability to regulate emissions from cars, in other kinds of industry and power plants. And of course, in the words of the EPA administrator himself, Lee Zeldin, he called it the single largest act of deregulation in the history of the United States of America. Now, that might sound like an unusual thing for the country's chief regulator of environment to celebrate, but of course, Lee Zeldin has been known to want to roll back environmental protections in the interest of economic growth. This is a point that he has made repeatedly.
And so is that now a done deal, or could more environmentally conscious states like California push back against it?
Well, we already heard from the likes of California. Governor Gavin Newsom has pledged to sue the federal government over this decision, but there might actually be some more coordination among states. Now, the revocation of this endangerment finding has already sparked pushback from the likes of the U.S. Climate Alliance. That, of course, is a coalition, a bipartisan coalition of 24 governors that do want to see climate action in their states. It's chaired by Gavin Newsom himself and the governor of Wisconsin, Tony Evers. Now, they released a statement saying, "We know greenhouse gases cause climate change and endanger our communities and our health, and we will not stop fighting to protect the American people from pollution." And so you can see there, Phil, they're setting the stage for a fight with the federal government.
Right, so what will the courts be looking at?
So federal courts can block this decision by the EPA if they find that it was made in an unscientific fashion or if it violates administrative law. So according to the Administrative Procedure Act, an agency reversal can't be arbitrary or capricious. They will also be looking at precedents such as Massachusetts versus EPA from 2007. That is a ruling from the Supreme Court that says that the EPA does have the authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions, that greenhouse gas emissions are considered air pollutants under the Clean Air Act, and that the EPA cannot simply refuse to regulate without a good scientific reason. As such, all of these things will be relevant when the courts look at this case, which they most certainly will.
Thank you, Janelle. DW correspondent Janelle Dumoulin in Washington, D.C.